No one will dispute that credit is important in solving financial inclusion problems. It's often called a critical rung on the ladder that helps individuals go up from poverty to a stable middle class. And you know what they say about rich countries? Rich countries have a strong and wide base for the middle class population. Plus, of course, credit allows small companies to expand and up their game, becoming medium and then large enterprises. Today, we turn the spotlight on Filipino credit with a guy who's sort of a gatekeeper for credit data, a very important ingredient that could spell the difference between your next loan being approved or denied. Joining us this morning is Marlo, Cruz, President and CEO of CIBI. Good morning, Marlo. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Michelle.
So what exactly, what sort of data?
Me.
Yes, it's great to have you here. What sort of data do you have on your database, on your system?
Both corporate and individuals. Corporate, we have about the top 35,000 corporations in the country. Individuals it's a summation of all the credit information for individuals for the 30 years that we have been in existence. So employment records, educational checks, employment checks, those are the ones that we have. But you were asking me a while ago about the CIC.
Yes, because we've been waiting for the launch of the database of CIC, Credit Information Corporation, which was supposed to be launched November.
Yes.
It's supposed to have a complete, a database of all Filipinos.
Yes, you might say
our credit record, our credit history. What's taking it so long? Because so the audience can connect, you are actually one of four who have exclusive access to this database.
And the only local.
And the only local.
Yes.
So what's taking so long for the database?
Well, a summation of all the other issues that are being encountered by the government institution. But we were informed, and we were just waiting now for the letter advising us that they'll start commercial operations anytime this December. So your November just was moved for 1 month, but they're about to start operations already.
So for many of our viewers, they may be curious, what information, what exactly do you have on the people on your database? Employment record. I know there's a score.
Yes.
You tag every person with a 3-digit score.
Yeah.
The highest being
850.
850, the lowest being
300.
300.
So this number, this numerical 3-digit number is actually your numerical value in terms of credit worthiness of an individual. The credit worthiness means your payment performance, how good you are in paying your loans, your obligations, how good you are in paying your utility bills, how good you are in and timely, I must emphasize, paying your obligations. So the CIC right now is close to about 7 million unique names there. This is all the collection of individual records coming from the different submitting entities, which are lending institutions. The bulk of which right now is with the banks, the fintechs, and the co-ops, a bit of co-ops, a bit of rural banks and microfinancial institutions. So 2019, we're looking forward to a very good year in the sense that we will be given now the right to access this data, and the public will now be empowered to start looking at their credit data, determine whether there are issues, and they have the right to question whatever content they have in their credit report. So that is where the dispute resolution that the CIC is working out with the different submitting entities. You could imagine you will be really but there will be a lot of people that will start questioning what is lacking, what is in excess.
So basically now, how do we feel you in our lives? For example, I want to take out a loan from a bank. The bank gets my credit history, credit data from you.
Yes.
And then based on the history that you have of me, they decide this person is creditworthy, I'll charge a lower interest rate.
We
Something
will be
like that.
at the forefront.
Okay.
But on the background. So meaning, first we'll try to determine who you are. If you are the right borrower, that's under the KYC. But it's all electronic now. Then next is we'll try to validate all your information that you've written in your application form. Then from there, we will try to match your data as against the CIC data, and then we will come up with a score.
Oh, wow.
That's
And
the
how will I
numerical
access?
score.
Do I have access to my score? Will
Yes. Yes, you
I
have.
can request
You,
from
you,
you.
you can request from us, or you can go directly to the CIC. But I'd rather that if you get your data from the CIC, it's only the raw data. But for us, the special accessing entities, the credit bureaus, we're supposed to process that data and
compute.
give you a credit score. So that score right now, you can go, we can say peddle it in a sense. Go to the different banks, present your scores, and that would be the basis of your approval, as well as the interest rates that will be given to you.
Oh, wow. How many more Filipinos, because I imagine the social relevance of this is not
Yes.
just for those who already have accounts, but to embrace the unbanked. I mean, data shows 7 out of 10 Filipinos still don't have
Yes.
bank accounts,
Yes.
don't have credit history.
Yes.
How will you and this database help them be included in the financial system, that they don't have to rely on loan sharks?
I agree. Two things. First is, with the credit scores, it empowers now individuals to first check on their credit records. Second is, it now empowers them in a sense that it changes now the lending landscape from asset-based to risk-based. So therefore, even if you don't have anything to mortgage, you will be granted credit because basically you are a good payer. You take care of the risk. You're very responsible in handling your credit.
And so you've got the credit scores. How many more Filipinos do you expect will be embraced? How many unbanked will be embraced, for example, in the next 1 to 3
Our
years?
modest target is about 5% of the 80 million Filipinos, granting that we are 100 million at the moment. 5% of the 80 million, or about 4 million annually, we will be very happy that we'll be able to move them from being underserved or unserved to be part of the financial
You mentioned
system.
that you base it on credit history. What about the unbanked? They don't have credit history.
They do. They do. One is they pay their
Electricity bills, their
electricity
utilities.
bills. They pay, everybody has a cell phone now, so they pay their cell phones, whether it's prepaid or postpaid.
You can track that even for prepaid?
Yes, yes.
And final question, China's coming up with their own credit scoring, and it's pretty ambitious. It's not just the financial side, but social credit scoring, including the financial aspect. They're going to be rewarding and punishing people based on the score. Do you think the Philippines could move towards something like that, a more holistic scoring?
I do agree in a sense, but there's still strong basis to determine the credit worthiness of an individual is his payments or her payment habits. So this is where we start looking at utilities and payments and all of those. Social media data, yes, it is reliable in a sense, but what we've seen so far is it is not as strong as a predictive indicator for the credit worthiness of an individual. There are only certain data attributes that contribute to it, because you can influence your social media data. I can put always my best foot forward when I do posts and all of those, but your payment habits on your obligation would still be the strongest indicator.
Final question before we let you go, tips on how we can get a high score on our credit.
Take care of your credit in the sense that pay your bills on time. If you can't, there are certain times that you have some financial difficulty, talk to your lenders. Ask for some reprieves, give them your cash flows, what you can afford to pay during those times, but make sure that you pay it on time. even though how much it is, but don't overextend. That's our worry, because when the unbanked becomes bank and serve, they might start overextending themselves. So you have to know what you need and segregate your need against wants.
Exciting times. 4 million unbanked to be embraced every year. We're going to hold you to that, Marlo, and we'll talk to you again next year.
Great.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Marlo.